Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Onos and today I'm finally releasing the results from my testing on skill and dexterity points versus the actual benefits when it comes to using ninjutsu in Nioh 2. By that I mean the real benefits you get for your jutsu from the ninjutsu tree, so items such as the power pill or tiger running scroll for example. So what I wanted to find out is, for a non-ninjutsu build, a build that isn't entirely focused on ninjutsu, is it worth placing points in dexterity and skill? If your weapon scales with skill, then obviously you're going to be putting points in there. But what about if skill is not one of your priorities? Or if you don't use it at all for any of your weapon damage, such as for adachi, tonfa or axe users? But if you still wanted to make use of the ninjutsu buffs, where should you put your points? And which one is more efficient and gives you the most for your investment? And at what point should you stop investing points? I'm hopefully going to answer those questions for you today. Okay, so let's start with skill points. This one is fairly simple. I'm going to advise you that if you don't use skill for your weapon damage, so again, adachi, axe or tonfas, I would completely avoid investing any points in skill unless you need to for minimum requirements on your armor or guardian spirit. For every point you put in skill, you only get 1 plus ninjutsu power. This is consistent all of the way up to plus 99 skill. I've tested this in action by adding plus 5 to skill from 10 to 15 to 20 all the way up. I used an adachi to test the damage increase provided by using the power pill at each level increase. The reason I picked an adachi for this is that it does not scale with skill on its own, and I wanted to test only the increase in damage provided by using the power pill. There was no difference in damage, literally nothing. There was also no difference in the duration of effects, so using tiger running scroll for an example, I was getting no difference when investing points into skill. Skill also doesn't make any difference to your capacity for ninjutsu either, so if you're thinking about the benefits to your ninjutsu buffs for a non-ninjutsu build, it's worthless on its own if your weapon damage doesn't scale against skill. To put this into context, let's take a look at dexterity. If you invest 10 points into dex, taking you to 15 dexterity in total, then you get to 101 ninjutsu power. This is more ninjutsu power than if you put the entire 99 points into skill. Now with dexterity, there are diminishing returns the higher you get. You can see that from the graph here. As the red line increases sharply to begin with, but begins to round out toward the top, meaning that you're not getting as much power for each 5 points you invest in dexterity. Looking at the percentage increases highlights the diminishing returns really well. So on this graph you can see that for the first 5 points you invest, you get a 60% increase in ninjutsu power versus the previous 5 levels. The next 5 gives you an 80% increase on top of that. After that though, so from level 15 in ninjutsu onwards, the reward for your point investment begins to drop away. So 40% increase at level 20, 25% increase on top of that for level 25 in dexterity, 20% increase at level 30, and then down to 15, 10, 9, 7, and so on, the higher you get in dexterity. Obviously, if you're running a ninjutsu build specifically, then it makes sense to max out the stats and add further armor bonuses to ninjutsu power. But looking at the base level damage increases, using power pill as the test and increasing only dexterity to test this, you get approximately a 1% increase in damage when using a power pill for every 5 extra points you invest in dexterity. Just to be clear, at base level in dexterity, before you've invested any points, the power pill gives you around 9% increase in your damage, so with the extra 5 point investment, that brings you up to a 10% increase in damage. This doesn't sound bad, but it isn't really consistent. At level 20 in dexterity, diminishing returns begins to kick in again. So going from 20 to 25 dex gets you 0 damage increase, and then at 30 dex you get the extra 1% again. This happens again at level 40 dexterity, no damage increase, but then again at level 45 you get your 1%. This begins to occur more frequently the higher your investment in dexterity, so there seems to be some soft caps in place that you need to surpass in order to get the damage increase using power pill. Again, this testing was mainly to illustrate the buff usage for non-ninjutsu builds. I feel like I've gone very detailed on this and I don't want to lose you, so I'll come to a conclusion. If you want to make use of ninjutsu buffs, but you're not making a ninjutsu specific build, avoid putting points in skill if you're not already doing so for another reason. Personally, I don't feel there is any value for a non-ninjutsu build to put more than 30 points into dexterity. You'll get the most value up to level 20 in dex. After that, the diminishing returns take effect the higher you go. And beyond level 30, which is where the capacity cap is, I don't see you getting much value from this. I hope you found this useful, guys, and it actually made sense. Don't forget to like and comment to support the channel if you don't mind. Sub if you're new. I'll wrap it up there. Thanks again for joining me. Take care. Stay safe. Bye bye now.